Welcome to Level Up with CMJ. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craps Master dice shooting journey. Let's make it yours too. Today is episode number 249 of the Level Up program and day number 89 of the brown belt. And we're going to do things a little bit different today. And my screen's a little messed up there, so please bear with it with the Crapsee code located where it's at. But hey, if you're new to the program, this is about my practicing of shooting the dice on a daily basis and also practicing a trend-based betting system. In the recent past, we were going through what was called the $1 Million Challenge, and that $1 Million Challenge is a little bit tough to go. So we're actually going to start things over a little bit here, and we're going to start a new series called the Blue Collar Craps. And let me see if I can fix this logo on the screen here, because this is really bugging me. So this is a little bit behind the scenes stuff, guys. So just bear with me really quick here. Hopefully it will not take too long. And oh my God, what's going on here? But anyhow, guys, we're going to start off, if you're playing along with Crapsee, the code today is going to be F5M8M5. And all you got to do is just, that's not working. So we're just going to leave it right there for now. And I will fix this when the camera starts over. But if you're playing along with Crapsee, just click on that play button that is on Crapsee, and that should bring you right to the table here. The goal of the Blue Collar Craps is going to be basically to look at playing craps and betting at the craps table from a blue collar perspective. So what is the average buy-in? You know, I would say the average buy-in is somewhere around $300 to $1,000. $1,000 is probably getting towards the end of it. Well, we're going to start with a $1,500 bankroll. And the blue collar craps concept comes in is how can we increase our bankroll? How can we make our bankroll bigger without spending the bank? Without going for that monster win. Now, the monster win comes, great. I will definitely accept the money. I will not turn it down. But our goal is to win approximately $100 a day. And starting off with $1,500, that $100 a day is going to be probably somewhere around that 6 to 8% of your bankroll bringing back. And then once you get to, say, a $3,000 bankroll, we can go to $150 a day or $200 a day or whatever, works best for you. So in the chat, we got Kevin from Crooked River Craps checking in first. We got Rick S. We got Jeffrey Powell, Brian Fliego, Roger from OMC Craps, and Joseph Ramos. Good morning to everyone. Quick recap on this last week. This last week I took off, I believe it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from doing my live streams. I actually went on a trip. I went down to Dubuque to visit the girlfriend's family. I did end up playing one of the nights in Dubuque. I bought in for $200. I cashed out for $260, so I considered that a success. And then the other night, I want to say it was Friday night, I actually went up to Green Bay to a night and I met up with Brian Fliego, who's in the chat right now. And I played for about an hour. I would say about an hour. I bought in for my $200 again, and I cashed out at $241 after tipping the dealers. So that's kind of a recap on my play this week. The unique thing about when I was in Dubuque, it was kind of neat because the table that I was playing on had a very hard surface table, and that's a type of table that I really like playing because when I throw the dice, I can really stick the dice to the table. But what was happening is it would hit the back wall and it would trampling right off. So they changed the wall on that table for some reason, and the dice had no control. So they would come in and they would go boom, but instead of landing up close to the wall, they would fly way back 2-3 feet. So what I ended up doing is I ended up adjusting my landing zone. Normally I land in that 6-inch area, somewhere in here. I actually adjusted my landing zone way back to about where the E or the M or the E is on the come, and it would come into the table back wall a little bit easier, and not come off nearly as far, and have a little bit more control on the dice. So remember, when you're doing the throwing of the dice at the table, you need to adjust your throw. You need to adjust the way that you do things in order to hopefully get the favorable results that we're looking for. So kind of a little insight on what my experience was this weekend. We're going to start off with a $10 pass line bet because we are going to the $10 table. I'm pretending that I am the shooter. Good morning, Bam. And we're going to call that all bets set. Make sure that you get into Crapsee, you push that I am ready button when you're ready to go. We're going to start off with the hard way set, 5-4-5-4, and I always start off with the hard way set so I can see what's going on with my shot today. I only threw one shot today, so I am coming into this really, really cold, as just a pre-warning for everybody. So dice out. And we're going to start off with a 1-5 KitchenAid mixer. So that is the 6. So 6 will be our point to start off with. And I had a little bit, the reason I didn't get many warm-up shots in today is because I had a little bit of a hard time getting things set up. For some reason, when you don't go live for a couple of days, something or another tends to screw up on your computer. And I'm going to do what's called the 128 wedge. This is a way of betting that I came up with in order to get out of the shooter within 3 or 4 rolls. Hopefully we'll be out of the shooter. So we're going to go 128 across. So that's going to be at the 4-unit level. So in other words, what we're going to do is we're going to go $20 in that 4, 5, 9, and 10, 24 into 8. And since the point is the 6, we're going to put $15 in pass line odds out there. So that way we have actually $129 out on the table. And then I'll show you how this strategy works as we go forward. So all bets set here, and dice out. And we have a 3-3 hard 6, the double degen. So we buckshotted that point right away. So we'll be looking for a new point here. And then once we come out with a new point, the next part of the strategy is to bring the 10 and the 4 down to $10 each. Remember, this is a $10 table. We're going to stick with that $10 pass line bet. And again, we're going with hard way set, 5-4-5-4. And the reason I use a hard way set to start off with is it's very easy for me to see the dice and see what they're doing. So I can tell you, if I'm double pitching, if I'm single pitching, if I'm inputting, exporting, or staying on axis a lot easier than a lot of the other dice sets that I use. So dice out. Thank you, Kevin. Dice did cross on me. We're back on that 6. We have a 1-5 KitchenAid mixer again. So for some reason we're consistent for starting here, which I'm totally happy with. So we got the 1-5. We'll enter that in on Crapsee. That's our third 6 in a row. And again, we're going to put $15 in pass line odds. And I'm going to take the 10 and the 4 down to $10 each. So my goal is to reduce my risk out there as I bring money back in the table. We start off with $129 on the table. We still have $109 on the table right now, but we have $28 brought back to the rack. So our goal is to hit it at least one more time here. And again, I'll explain the strategy as I go. And this is called the 128 wedge. All bets set. Dice out. And we have a 5-6 mid-mo yo. That is Chiro coming to us from above. And that does not help us with our betting, but it does help if you're playing at ATS. Good morning, SJ. Good morning, Joseph Remus. 666 says Joseph Remus. Bad news, he goes. Good morning, Mike. So again, 5454. And we'll go all bet set. He's out. And we have a ace deuce Alfredo sauce, so 2 craps numbers in a row here. So hopefully we can get back to those box numbers, because it really, when you're doing these first couple rolls to try to get to that break even, the box numbers are what you're really looking for. You're trying to get all this shooter as fast as possible, so that way you can reduce your risk to 0 or very minimal going in. So that way you have lots of options to follow. So we're doing the 128 wedge today. We're going to call that all bet set. We have 13 people watching right now. We have 12 likes. I know that in about 4 minutes, Brian from Hawaii Craft Shooters is going to be going live. So I hope that everybody stays with me, but I would understand if you do switch over. He is doing his practice run up to his Las Vegas trip for Christmas. So that's out. And we have another ace deuce, so we are definitely throwing repeat numbers. I do not like to see those craps numbers coming up like that. We need to get at least one more box hit here. If not a third one, it would be nice. This is what the blue collar craps is all about. Get out of the shooter as fast as possible. And we got a couple flugelhorns, as Brian reminds us. A couple flugelhorns, and that was a term coined by Ricky Lee from Joliet, Illinois, regarding Brian Flegel. The flugelhorn. And that 3 again does nothing for our bets, so we will go all bets set here. Days out. And we have a 3-6 center field 9. I don't like the way that right die came off the back wall. They both kind of rolled in nice, but the 9 will be a nice hit for us. So 3, 6, 9. So that's another collector money back to the rack. Now what we're going to do is we have $56 brought back to the rack. We're going to take all of our money off, except for the pass line. And then we are going to go to a $15 5 and 9. Now the theory is in doing this is that we got back to break even, and we actually brought some profit back to the rack. And now it's going to be a little bit tough. We have to make sure we hit the 5 and 9s going forward. But we have $56 brought back to rack. We only have $40 on that table because of that pass line. So we have actually 3 numbers covered right now. We have the 5, 6, and 9 covered. From here, we're going to start trend betting upwards. So the theory is bring some money back to the rack, try to get as close as we can to that $100 profit for the day. And if we hit that $100 goal, goal, then we're going to bring our money down, and we're just going to play out the rest of the shooter's net. So I'll kind of show you guys as we go forward how we do that. So let's call that all bet set. Stick with the hard way set. Dice out. Dice they cross me again. We have the OMC craps, all the dots and all the spots. So we're throwing a couple craps numbers here today that were 8 rolls in. Last week when I had shot a new person, good morning Alfredo, a new person that joined in my chat, and his name was, his channel is Gamble with Jimmy. And Jimmy wanted to get a closer view of my grip, and I would have the camera there today as well, but my camera was almost dead. I had to plug it in, so that's why we have the camera way over there. We'll call this all bet set. We did not change anything at all. We're looking for 5, 6, or 9. Dice out. And we have a 6. We have a 5-1 KitchenAid mixer again, so that's awesome. So 4 of our throws have been at 6 to start the day, and that is our point. So we're going to get paid out on that, and that'll be some money brought back here. And we're just going to collect that for this time here. So that way we're in the profit, $26 here on this shooter. So we are 1/4 of the way to our daily goal, our blue collar goal, if you will. So Friday night, good morning, Marble Fork. Friday night, I went up to Oneida, just on a whim, and on the way up there, I gave Brian Fliego a text saying, hey, I'm going to be at Oneida, and he showed up. Him and a friend of his from Iowa showed up. His friend's name, I believe, was Anthony, if I'm not mistaken. But Brian watched me shoot the dice. I had somewhere in the mid-teens for my roll. I had enough to make back all of my losses that I had and win a profit of, like I said, $41 after tips. Then I jumped off the table and I sat and talked with Brian and his friend for quite a while. I would say probably close to 45 minutes to an hour. And we also, Andrew, thank you, Brian. It was Andrew. And another local came up. His name was Hans. He came up and watched and talked to us for quite a while. So we had a really good conversation going, talking about craps and all the works. But we're going to stick with that $10 pass line bet. We'll go all bets set here. Looking for a new point. Dice out. And we have a 2-1-3 ace deuce Alfredo sauce. So that is a pass line loser. So we're going to have to go back up on that pass line. So that is 4 6s and 3 3s that we've thrown today. So it is appropriate because Alfredo is in the chat here. So we're throwing a little bit of sauce today. 5-4-5-4. And again, we're going to go with a $10 pass line bet. This weekend they had a couple of different shows that went live. Last night was Craps Chat. Earlier, or later last week, Ed Robinson went live with Gargoyle and Jeff and I think it was Heavy. You know, they did a really good show. So that was a lot of fun to watch. And Gargoyle and Ed announced that they're going to have a new series coming out in the beginning of the year where they're going to be teaching DI, or dice influence, to a certain individual to help them with their shooting. And Chris from Sideshow Gamble is the lucky recipient. We have a 4-5-9 center, or this is the Big Mac hard 9 this time. So I'm actually interested to see that series coming up. Again, my series, my show, the Level Up program is all about learning how to shoot the dice and practicing the dice on a daily basis. But we are always open for learning. And Gargoyle and Ed are just a wealth of information. And make sure that we can watch with an open eye and try to learn some new techniques, tactics, ways of practicing, things like that, to hopefully help improve our shooting at the table. And again, I am learning as I go here, so I am always open to trying to learn different ways. So we're going to take that $15 off the 9. We're just going to put that right in the pass line odds, so we still only have the 5 and 9. So Brian was saying after we got done talking, a guy behind us shot for 1 hour and 10 minutes. He had at least 6 point that he knew. I mean, yeah, I had driven home. It takes me about 45 minutes to get home, and Brian had messaged me. He said the guy's still shooting. So that's pretty amazing. So 5-4-5-4 hard we said. Dice out. And we have a 268 Duracell 8. Go and support free live craps. Again, give that thumbs up where deserved. Make sure you subscribe if you have not done so already, if you're enjoying the content. And that goes not only for my channel, but also all the other craps content providers out there that you enjoy. Support them, guys. We do not make a ton of money off of this. I've been doing this channel for almost 3 years, and I've made a total of $700 off my YouTube channel. So we don't get rich. So we'll go all bets set here again. Hardway set. Days out. Place the cross on me. We have a 4-6-10. The 4-6-10 is that's Waylon's best friend way in the end, Daddy Joe. He had a brain fart there for a second. And that was one of the things that Brian and I were talking about to this individual, is how I have all the different dice calls and for all the different dice sets and that. And then I had mentioned that Alfredo hollered at me because he said I was coming up with too many of them. So, Alfredo, we added another one. We have the Flugelhorn. So anytime you throw a craps number, we got the Flugelhorn. So let's keep our bets at 10 to nothing for our bets. Again, we're looking for the 5 and 9. All bets set here and dice out. Ooh, terrible, guys. Terrible. I don't know if you saw that. That left one, hit the back wall. The right die stuck to my finger. It landed right here on the 9. So I'm going to push it forward. It landed right here on the 9. So it didn't even get all the way to the other end of the table. But we have another ace deuce Alfredo sauce. Getting saucy. That was a weird throw. Make sure these fingers are not sticky and that they're dry. That ace deuce does nothing for my bets. Oh, I hit the tall. That's awesome. I didn't even notice that, Alfredo. Thank you for pointing it out. So we hit the tall. First shooter today. That's a good start. We did that in less than 14 throws, so that was a Flugelhorn, and we were saucy. That's out. You don't play the TS. I really wasn't watching that, I guess. A little bit low trajectory, but we're on that 9 again, the 5-4 hard 9 Big Mac. So that is perfect. So that is one of the numbers that we have covered. So let's go, and that is also our point. So we hit the point again. So we've hit 2 points. We'll be looking hopefully for a third new point here, and that was some extra money brought back. So now that we hit that 9, we're going to pick up that 6 and 8 for $12 each once we get a new point established. So we're going to stick with the $10 pass line bet here. Our 5 is turned off right now, and once we get our new number established, we're going to pick up the 6 and 8 for $12 a piece, so we should hopefully have all the inside numbers covered. $88 brought back to the rack so far, and all bets set. Days out. And we have 5-6 mid-mo yo. That again is Chiro coming to us from above. And for those of you who don't know who Chiro is a close friend and fellow content creator in the craps community here that did pass away this year at a ripe young age, I believe, of 53 years old. So he was sadly missed, a very huge highlight and huge character in our community, very positive and somebody that we can easily stand behind. So we will miss him going forward here. So all bets set. Again, hardway set 5-4-5-4. Days out. And we have a 617. That is a natural on to come out. So I guess that's a good time for it to happen. That will reset that ATS, unfortunately. But we already hit the tall. We were quite a distance away from hitting that small. So I guess that's not the worst, but that's an extra $10 brought back to the rack. So at the current moment, we are at 1608 if I took all of my money off the table. So we are at goal right now, and I would take all my money down, but we're going to keep on going on this shooter since this shooter is doing well and we were only on the first shooter. But the blue collar craps says that we're at 1608, which is $108 profit for the day. Take your money off the table and leave the casino because we made our $100. That was our goal for the day. So we did that all in 17 rolls of the dice. So dice out. And we have a 5-1 KitchenAid mixer. So 6 is definitely a hot number today. We hit that 5 times now so far on this shooter. So 5 out of 18 rolls has been that 6. Let's do this one. So we're going to pick up those inside numbers. So we're going to put $12 on the 8. We're going to put $15 on that 9. And if I can bring back one more hit, I'm going to take all my box numbers off. We'll just play that pass line. And that will be for the $100 win for the day. Or at least the session, if you will. So all bets set here. And dice out. Ooh, kind of a weird throw, guys. Dice got caught, and this is what happens. We have a 2, 5, 7 out. So we should have pulled the money off. We would have been at goal. And that's going to be a learning experience for all of us when we get to the casino. So 2, 5, 7 clears our bets off. We're down to $15.56, so we're still $56 profit. We need to get 44 more dollars going forward. We're going to try sticking with that hardway set. That last throw, I believe the 7 came as a result of poor mechanics on that throw. So again, we're going to go $10 on the pass line bet. Get your bets in, press I am ready button when you're ready to go. 15 people watching, 10 likes. I appreciate the support here, everyone. And again, we'll go all bets set, dice out. I have a very shallow grip on a dice. And we have a 1, 4, 5, actually a 4, 1, 5. That's the horse and buggy. So 5 will be our new point. Again, we're going to go with the 128 across bet level. So that's going to be 4 units, 4 $5 units on each of the numbers. So that's going to be $20 on the 4, 9 and 10. We have 24 and that's 6 and 8. Let's pick up $10 in pass line odds. Again, sticking with the 5, 4, 5 for hardway set. So I'm going to be going down again to Dubuque area, the 28th, 29th, and possibly the 30th of December here. So not this week, but next week. And I'm going to be trying to meet up with Dice Dr. Dan, actually. Has a friend in Iowa he's going to be going to visit up. He's leaving Vegas for the couple days. Going up to Clinton, Iowa, which is about an hour and 10 minutes away from Dubuque, where I'll be at. And we're going to try to meet up, play a little bit of craps, have a little bit of talking. I've never talked to Dan in person. I've never met him in person, so I'm really excited to do that. But I have talked to him a couple times behind the scenes online, and I've chatted with him a few times as well. So it should be a good visit. 5, 4, 5, 4 harder set. And dice out. Ooh, that was a weird roll, but we have a 6-2-8, Duracell 8. Dice hit, and they kind of rolled right around the back of the wall there. They both end up tight against the wall, though. So 6-2-8. That would be our first hit, so we're going to bring that 4 and 10 down to $10 each to reduce our liability. So we now have $108 on the table. 5, 4, 5, 4. Right now we're at $15.84 for our total bankroll. We have $14.76 in our rack. And we'll go all bets set here. Dice out. And we have another 8, 5, 3, 8 this time. 8 came easy. It would be the Great 8, Leon from Great Craps. Leon was on the Craps chat last night with us on the panel. I was as well. We're going to be able to pull that 9 down to $10. And let's pull the pass line odds off. Let's see. Actually, no, we're going to pull our money down. We're going to pull all the box numbers down, guys. We're just playing the pass line. So we are at goal. We're at 1602 in our rack right now and 1612 in the total bankroll. So we have $10 on a pass line bet. Let's see if we can hit that pass line, get it paid out so we can actually continue on with our betting today, because anything extra over the $100 is going to be play money. Anything under that $1,600, so we're going to take $16 off the table no matter what. Does not matter. So we'll go all bets set here. Looking for a 5. And dice out. And we get a 5, 4, 9. That is the Big Mac hard 9. So we've thrown a few of those today. Definitely repeating numbers today. And that, to me, is proof enough that dice influence, or at least some sort of dice influence, does exist. Because we are definitely repeating the same 3 or 4 numbers over here, over and over and over out of 23 rolls. 23 rolls, we hit the 6 5 times, we hit the 9 4 times, the 8 3 times, and the 3 4 times. So that's 4 numbers that we are definitely repeating and repeating and repeating. So all bets set. And dice out. That right die stuck again. Another 9, another 5 4 9. And that is the Big Mac hard 9. So all of our 9s have been that 5 4 variety, except for one of them was a 6 3. Again, that does nothing for our bets. 5 4 5 4. You know, think about it, guys, if you don't have to travel that far, winning $100 every time, every session at the craps table, that's pretty successful. You go, 4 or 5 days a week, that's an extra $400 or $500 a week. Or that's money that you can add to the bankroll so you can actually get into a little bit higher betting progressions, if you will. So let's go all bets set here. Still on shooter number 2 here. Dice out. A little bit long on that landing zone, but we got lucky. We have a 3 5 8. It is the Great 8. 8 came easy. Great 8, Leon from Great Craps. Again, we are looking for that 5 so we can get that pass line paid out. So this weekend when I played a when I was in Dubuque, it was a $5 table, actually. So what I did is I would go 88 inside. I would take 1 hit, and then I would go to it 1 unit across. So it usually came out to be like 27 across. So you're basically betting on that 32 across bet level. And I just trend bet it upwards from there. And it took a while to get some traction going, but it did work. So 88 inside, take a 1 hit, bring everything down to 1 unit, and start progressing up there. Or if it was a shooter that I did not know, which was pretty much everybody until I saw him shoot 1 or 2 times, I would play the horseman on them, $10 horseman. So I would wait till a point got established. I would do a $10 DC bet, and I follow that up with 3 $10 come bets. I would not put any odds onto the come bets or the DC. I just played them straight up, and I actually did very well with that strategy there. In fact, I was playing that strategy, I believe, when Brian walked up to me at the craps table at Oneida in Green Bay, and he was actually surprised that I was actually playing what I preach on the channel here. So dice out. And we have a 4-2-6. That would be the 2x4. And then when I was in Green Bay, I was either playing a horseman with $10 DC, $10 come bets, or I was playing the skill 66. And the skill 66 is going 66 inside. You drop $1 on that first hit, you 22 pressure inside, take a second hit, and then you come down to 44 inside, and then you start trend betting upwards from there. And when I talk about trend betting, guys, I have a video out there. It's called Trend Betting, and it shows you what my progressions are with my bets as you go forward. So again, stick with the hard way set, dice out, all bets set. Dice did cross on me. We have another great 8, 3, 5, or 5, 3, 8. So again, repeat number once again. So we have a 5, 3. Looking for that 5 yet, so we can get a little bit more profit back, so we can start increasing some of our bets on the table. Again, this is where, guys, the blue collar craps comes in. We met our goal of $100. We're being very disciplined by not picking up more money on the bets. You look at the numbers that we're hitting mostly inside numbers. This shooter here has only hit the 5, 6, 8, and 9. And we're already 8 rolls in, working on our 9th row. We'll go hard way set, all bets set. Dice out. Again, that landing zone is a little bit long, guys, but we got that 5. We got the 1, 4, 5 horse and buggy. So we hit that point again. That's awesome. And that landing zone is a little bit longer than I would have liked to have seen, so I need to bring that landing zone back a little bit. But we did hit that point. I'm not going to put a pass line up here right now. I'm going to pretend that somebody else is shooting. And I'm going to be able to pick up now 2 numbers, and we're going to start pressing them up and start trying to trend bet upwards, if you will. So we're going to take that $10 off the pass line here. 5, 4, 5, 4 for our hard way set. We have 16.22 in our rack right now. And that it'll give me actually $22 to use if I wanted it. We're only going to use $20 going forward here. So all bets set. And dice out. And we have a 6-6 OMC craps, all the dots and all the spots. Midnight. And that is the second one of those that we threw today. So you look at the number distributions there, guys. It's pretty amazing how they're really grouping together nicely today. Again, I'm not doing any pass line or don't pass line bet here. We'll go all bet set. And I know that Brian is live right now, so I do appreciate everybody who's sticking with me. We're still at 12 people watching. And we have a 369. That is the center field 9. So 9 will be our new point. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up, we'll do this one. So let's go $10 on that 9. Whoops, I forgot to enter the bet in here, guys, or the dice out button. So we'll go 3, 6, 9. Good morning, JR. So let's go $10 on that 9. Let's go $12 on that 8. So that'll bring us down to that $1,600 bankroll. So we're not going to dip underneath that. Since the 8s and the 9s are very strong, we could also go on to 6. Let's move that to 6 instead. So we're going to go on to 6 and the 9. So that we're one on the upstream side, one on the downstream side. Okay, we're going to go 5, 4, 5, 4. And we're going to see what we can do with these bets. So our first progression would be to bring the number hit up to the next unit. So if it's 6 is hit, we're going to bring it to 18. If the 9 is hit, we'll bring it to 15. All bets set here. Dice out. And we have a 1, 4, 5 horse and buggy again. So we picked the wrong side there. But that is a very dominant number as well. So 1, 4, 5. It's our third one that we hit so far today. Again, 5, 4, 5, 4. So that 5 did nothing for our bets. And we're going to call that all bets set here. Dice out. Dice landed on top of each other. We got a 4, 3, 7 out. So I think we're going to call it right there. Two things I want to cover, though, that I learned at the, or not that I learned, that I experienced at the craps table this weekend. One thing I noticed, and now that the 7 came out, I'm going to mention this, is when I gripped my dice, let me see if I can get a little bit closer here. When I gripped my dice, and normally what I do is I use my pinky finger to push in the dice on this side, and I'll use my index finger to push the dice in on this side, so that way they're in tight. But when I'm holding on, my middle finger and my thumb are actually squeezing those dice together. I'm trying to turn my hand and my elbow around so you guys can see it. But what I noticed is when I put my index finger and my ring finger on the dice, if the dice split apart a little bit in the front, and I'm over exaggerating it right now, but if the dice split apart a little bit in the front, I noticed that that's when the 7 appeared on my roll. So I have to make sure that they stay tight together and square to the table when I do that. And if they split apart just a little bit, I got to reset them, put them down, regrip them, get it in there so they're nice and tight, and that hopefully increase my chances. The other thing I noticed this weekend, and I don't know why this is, because usually this happens the first time I shoot, but I shot quite a few times this week. My hands were shaking. It was actually kind of nervous, like shakes. It almost looked like I had Parkinson's. But anyhow, let's go through our statistics for the day here. So this is actually a pretty decent roll today. We have an SOR of 16.0. We have an SRR of 10.7. So that should bring our statistics up a little bit today. 2 shooters. We had a 19 and a 13. Hot number was the 3, 6, 8, and 9. We threw a lot of horn numbers, a lot of Fliegel horns today. Box numbers were what was expected. Inside numbers were high today. 4s and 10s are low. Come out 7s are low. Horns are high. Fields are high. Hardwoods are low. And we're definitely on a light side play. Our statistics, and this is through the end of last week, Wednesday, I believe, was Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever my last day was. But up through that day, we threw 3,233 throws on brown belt. We have an SOR at that time of 9.6, SRR of 7.01, And obviously our goals are a 10.0 SOR and an 8.0 SRR by the end of the brown belt. And these numbers today will definitely help us towards that goal. But hey guys, I do want to thank everyone for coming in, for participating, for following along the Level Up program here. My name is Joe. This is my Craps Master Dice Shooting journey. Let's make it yours too. Everyone have a great day. Be safe and be prosperous.